Monday, January 27th. Welcome back to Damon Bruce Plus. It is great to have you here for the one and only big live stream we're doing from the studio this week because Daddy is about to go on vacation. This time tomorrow, I will be in a bird, in the air, heading to Mexico with my wife. Look, we have been a great couple of parents. We have not been a great couple. It's time for us to just have a little away time, just the two of us, and we're really looking forward to it. And if you're parents, I can feel you nodding in agreement. You know exactly what I'm talking about here. So we're looking forward to a little getaway. Hopefully that will bring me back refreshed as a daisy and ready to go come next Monday when we're back on the air together for our regularly scheduled programming. But it is great to have you here. As always, we are brought to you by Ike Sandwiches. Today's live stream being powered by BetUS. And folks, was that a first down that Josh Allen picked up and was denied? And then what do you know? We got the Chiefs driving for a tied the game touchdown, and then they kick a field goal, and they win, as always, and Buffalo loses, as always, and the refs put themselves right in the middle of another Kansas City Chiefs game, as always. And this is why we can't have nice things. This is why people are going crazy over the Chiefs being back in yet another Super Bowl. They're not upset with Taylor Swift. They're not really upset with Patrick Mahomes sounding like Kermit or anything. It is they feel the league is helping one team reach a Super Bowl while they deny another team's chances of getting there. I'm so sick and tired of this argument. I'm so sick and tired of the skeptics. And I'm really sick and tired of the skeptics having so many good points of data to present to me that make me think maybe they're not so skeptical. Maybe there is a little something to it, because it does feel like any and all benefits of the doubt do go the Kansas City Chiefs' way. Or maybe that's just the way it feels around great teams. I don't know. But I thought Josh Allen picked up that first down. I really did. I thought that he made the line to gain. I thought there was clear, naked to the eye evidence that he had picked it up, but sure enough, according to the officials, he did not. And here we are. We got Chiefs and Eagles as our Super Bowl. Chiefs and Eagles, we've seen it before. We're going to see it again. And honestly, you know, it sounds good to me, like a team of destiny going up against the single most dangerous team, I think, remaining out there. Certainly the team that is peaking at the right time. The Eagles are playing a brand of football in the postseason that I think is better than the brand of football that they were playing in the regular season. And even though the Chiefs just scored 30 points, I don't think they've been playing necessarily great football at any point this year. They just keep on winning everything. So here we are. Here we are. Again, my favorite stat from Sunday is the Eagles had 7 rushing touchdowns on Sunday. The Dallas Cowboys had 6 rushing touchdowns all season long. So the Eagles with Saquon Barkley, who is having as good of a year as any human being has ever had in sports, right? Like, I mean, I don't know if you get better than the year that Saquon Barkley just had. The MVP is a regular season award. That's why it's probably going to go to either Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. If the postseason were included in MVP consideration, might I offer that Saquon Barkley would have to be a unanimous MVP, because that's how good he has been. This guy is a 60-yard touchdown in the postseason. Every single time I look up, he's rushing for another 50-plus yard touchdown in an Eagles uniform. He's been extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary. And look, Patrick Mahomes, hate him all you want. Disparage Patrick Mahomes all you want on the Twitter machines, on whatever social media you are going to complain about Patrick Mahomes on. Complain all you want, but make sure at the end of your complaint you say he's been a starter for 7 years. He has been in the AFC title game 7 years in a row, and he's about to go compete in his 5th Super Bowl. If you're in 5 Super Bowls in your first 7 years and you're not playing Madden, that's extraordinary. That only happens on Madden. Really, it only happens in a place where reality is suspended and you can dictate how your league works and you can hit that reset button whenever you start losing a game. Nobody goes to 5 Super Bowls in their first 7 seasons in this league, except for Patrick Mahomes. Guy's incredible, man. He really is. You know, he's already in a 3-person debate for greatest quarterback of all time. Joe Montana, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. Either way, you got a mega winner, no matter who of those 3 that you pick. And if you pick Patrick Mahomes, you might have the first ever quarterback to win 3 Super Bowls in a row. And to me, that is a level of longevity in a small window frame that trumps like all the Super Bowl wins that Brady had scattered throughout the years. Like if you do something that has never been done before, it's hard to argue that you aren't the most historically significant guy to ever do it. It really is. With all due respect to Tom and to Joe, what Patrick Mahomes is doing right now is, you know, straight up holy shit status. It is. It's unbelievable. You wish when you look at Patrick Mahomes, you wish that was your quarterback. You wish that was your success. You wish you could win like that. You wish you could manipulate the league if that is indeed what they're doing. You wish you had the sort of curried the favor in the league that means that you are officiated in a way that no other team gets the benefit of the doubt. You all freaking wish. You're jelly. I'm jealous. You got to be jealous. And as I was saying with it, by the way, sip of the day has long since come and gone, but that was a good one right there. Not that this is going to help any single 49er fan fall asleep faster or better. But if the Chiefs really do win 3 in a row here, there's absolutely no doubt that Kyle's 2 head coaching Super Bowl losses has come against one of the single most significant, historically powerful teams in the history of the sport of football. So you should be able to wear those defeats with a little bit more grace and apologize less for them, because you're really up against a historical force here in the Kansas City Chiefs. Having said all that, I think the Eagles do have what it takes to maybe win the Super Bowl, because they got Saquon Barkley, which means they can control the line of scrimmage with that offensive line. They can control the clock. They can keep Mahomes and that Chiefs offense on the sideline longer than most teams, I think, could. And they've got the only other defensive coordinator who just had as good a year as Steve Spagnuolo did. And, you know, I think that Vic Fangio could be the secret ingredient that the Eagles need to beat the Chiefs. We'll have plenty of time to talk about, you know, lines and who wins and gambling. We'll do that all next week because we got a 2-week run up to the big game in New Orleans. So by the time I'm back from Mexico, I'll officially be throwing it into let's preview the Super Bowl mode, along with looking at what the Niners need to do this offseason, what they need to do in free agency, what they need to do in the draft, and what they need to do in terms of getting everybody signed and in-house who's got a contract that's going to be signed this offseason, namely Brock Purdy. So an awful lot of refreshed, relaxed Damon coming back a week from now to cover what is going to be a fork in the road offseason for the 49ers. So it is great to have you here. I'm not mailing this show in today, but I'm also not about to work very hard. Again, this time tomorrow, I am on an airplane heading to Riviera Maya. But let me tell you what else we got for you here today. First of all, I wouldn't be able to go to Riviera Maya. We wouldn't be able to just put on the show each and every day for you if it was not for our incredible sponsors, starting with this guy right here. The cardboard cutout behind me isn't enough. I need Ike's superimposed graphic face on the screen to let you know that his sandwiches are amazing. We are kind of leaving not a lot of stuff that we're going to eat has been left in the refrigerator for the kids. It's all chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese for the kids basically for a week here as grandma and grandpa come on to take care of the boys. So very little lunchtime options, which means I think I'm ordering an Ike's today for lunch. I will take a picture of that and share it with you. I don't know what I'm going to get. I'm not going to get a Damon Bruce, but I want a big meaty sandwich, and I will share that with you on social media, and I'm going to get it from Ike's, and you should get your sandwiches from Ike's Absolutely, you should. Hopefully, you got an Ike's around you in a delivery distance. Sign up for that Ike's Rewards program. Start earning your way towards free sandwiches and prizes and bags of chips and combo meals and all that great stuff over at Ike's. Our good friends at the Dubliner. Unstoppable. What an awesome bar. Dubliner West Portal in San Francisco. That is the official home of the Damon Bruce Show. But I got to also let you know that we are going to be doing a Super Bowl watch party, not at the Dubliner, but at the Halfway Club on Geneva. My buddies own those bars, and they gave us the back room and said we're going to have drink specials and food specials. So make plans to come to the Halfway Club. But in the meantime, for all your drinking needs, get yourself to the Dubliner for the best pulled Guinness in all of San Francisco. The Dubliner West Portal. Absolutely love you guys. And as always, our live stream is being brought to you by BetUS. And when you're thinking about laying some player props, game props on the big game that's coming up in New Orleans, check out BetUS. It's where the game begins, and use promo code YouTube150 when you do that and get 150% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 on your very first deposit. So thanks to our friends over at BetUS. Thanks to all of the sponsors who support me and what I do over here and support the channel, support the family. Couldn't do it without you. Really, really couldn't. Meanwhile, our friends in Buffalo. It ain't easy being a Bills fan. No one ever said it was. At least they're used to this. That's the only thing they got going for them. What another disappointing Monday after a big Sunday of football for Buffalo Bills fans. And honestly, look, Josh Allen, he's a great player. Sean McDermott, he's a really good coach. I didn't think that the great player had a great game. I don't think that the good coach had a good game. And I don't think that there is a reason to believe that the Bills are in the middle of a Super Bowl window. Again, to be in a Super Bowl window, you have to actually reach the Super Bowl. They never have. Josh Allen is now 0-4 against Mahomes and the Chiefs in the postseason. That ties Aaron Rodgers' record of futility against one franchise. Aaron Rodgers was 0-4 against the 49ers in the postseason. And I just don't know how you could possibly sell the concept of hope or next year is going to be your year to a Buffalo Bills fan when it's never your year. That's freaking brutal, man. Absolutely brutal being a Buffalo Bills fan. How are you going to get any Buffalo Bills fan excited about any regular season success ever again? It's all about what you do in the postseason, and they can't do shit. In the postseason, not never, not ever. This goes way beyond Patrick Mahomes and the Andy Reid era at Arrowhead, by the way. This goes all the way back to the Jim Kelly days. I mean, they just cannot win that big game. And now they can't even reach the big game once again. Oh, Bills fans. At least you got great chicken wings. That's what you got. It's rough. What is your city known for? Well, it's known for a culinary dish that, let's be honest, most airport bars don't really fuck up. I mean, like, it's just wings in a deep fryer, hot sauce, butter. I mean, it should not be such a culinary target that not everybody hits this target. So even what is special about Buffalo is readily available everywhere. It's rough. It's rough being from upstate New York. That is about as upstate New York gets. Freaking brutal. And now again, a quest for a three-peat. If they do it, if the freaking Chiefs do it, they're the greatest team of all time. There's been 8 attempts at a three-peat in NFL history. No one has stuck the landing yet. The 68 Packers had back-to-back titles, and then they missed the playoffs altogether. The 74 Dolphins lost in a divisional round, going for a three-peat. The 76 Steelers lost in the AFC title game. The 1980 Steelers missed the playoffs altogether. The 1990 49ers had the Roger Craig fumble in the NFC title game, and they didn't get a chance to three-peat. The 94 Cowboys lost to the 49ers in the NFC championship game. The 99 Broncos missed the playoffs entirely. The 05 Patriots lost in the divisional round, and now here are the Chiefs. And we'll find out next Sunday if they really do become the first team ever to three-peat. And if they do, what, does Travis Kelce just call it a career right there on the field? Get down on one knee and ask Taylor for her hand in marriage? What's left? You three-peat, what's left if you're Travis Kelce? I'd call it a career. Thanks, everybody. That was fun. I'll be hanging out with my billionaire girlfriend from here on out. Try to wife that up. Again, how much would a Super Bowl ring mean to Kelce's career? Well, he's already a Hall of Famer. Another Super Bowl ring would be certainly a feather in a cap, but the biggest ring that Kelce can now get would be a hand in marriage ring, given who he's dating. And it's funny, man, we used to sit down and watch sports and people would walk away like feeling happy or satisfied. Maybe you're disappointed that your team lost, but it really wouldn't affect your mood because you were mad at the league at large. But it feels like that's where we are in sports. Again, this is why my vacation is well timed. Like, I'm ready to get away and not talk sports for a week in Mexico. I really am. Now, we'll do a video or two. I'm sure a video or two will be produced. And you'll be like, oh, Damon's still on. No, just videos that are already in the can that'll come out while I'm gone. But I really do. I need a break from this world. Not you. I love you folks. Love hanging out with you. But the media environment that we're just all living in is just the worst. It's the worst. You got sports media right now. It's just a complete and utter mess. Like, the people who were really good at their jobs have all been asked to leave because no one can afford them anymore. And the overpaid people that are still in their positions are such preening schmo prima donnas. Like, first of all, you gotta sift through so much noise to find an actual message that matters. I know Elon likes to promise everybody, like, you're the media now. Well, no wonder why the media is so awful, because believe me, folks, not everybody was meant to cover things, okay? Not everybody's voice was meant to be on an equal street carrying the same amount of volume. It was not meant to be that way. But it's that way now. Our stalwarts, our valuable voices are being aged out or priced out. Then you got like a lousy Tom Brady in the booth making more money than all other broadcasters combined. And we all completely agree he is a C- at best. But we got to suffer through that. Stephen A. Smith is a full of himself prima donna, if there ever was one, who literally is attacking us with volume more than he's attacking us with salient points. And he's the most influential voice in the game. No wonder why so many people come into the game the wrong way. They're trying to be Stephen A. Smiths, and there should never be more than one of those at any time. You got Joy Taylor sleeping with anybody who can get her a show on Fox. So I guess that's another game you can play. We got way too many YouTubes. We got way too many podcasts. We got way too much bullshit coming from unqualified people. And we have way too much stuff coming from qualified people. Like, how do you even know what to trust anymore in the media? It's a mess. San Bruno Mike, media amateurs are messing it up for everyone. Again, they got a lot of people confused. Got J Boogie 510 says, I saw Dave Lombardi give an hour dissertation on why Brandon Staley would be a choice as defensive coordinator when it looked like the 49ers were headed that way. The media is ridiculous. I think Dave Lombardi does a great job, and him discussing something that might happen is fair game. I doubt at any point in time he was trying to laud it as it's the right thing to happen because it's what I want to happen. Because Dave doesn't cover the team like that. He's not looking for his desires to be met. And when they are, team made good decision. And when they are not, team is incompetent. I think Brandon Staley would have been a halfway decent choice. Luckily, they don't have to pull that lever because Robert Saleh is back. And, oh, by the way, he's bringing Brant Boyer with him. The 49ers special teams coordinator is coming from the New York Jets, just like Saleh. Look, say whatever you want about Brandon Staley and whatever jokes you have. He's a 42-year-old guy who's got head coaching experience, defensive coaching experience, and you'd be silly to give up on anybody at the age of 42. Seriously. Now, I like Robert Saleh more than I like Brandon Staley. But Brandon Staley is not some incompetent nincompoop who knows nothing about the sport and shouldn't be in it. Come on. Disappointing? Sure. Incompetent? No. Tiger Tanko 6 says, Damon, you really want to go back to legacy media when they've shown that they are untrustworthy and unreliable? You know, that's a great question, and consider the sources. You know, there used to be a time when the person who delivered the news would deliver the news, not opinion. The problem is we have mixed in opinions and profit into the news gathering information and sources, and that's what's muddied everything up. You know, there shouldn't be an endeavor of trying to get you to watch the news because we're looking for win ratings. It should be an endeavor of, here's what happened in the world today. We think you need to know it. Conclude for yourself what is important or not. At no point in time was the media supposed to be a 7-person roundtable all screaming at each other, but that's all we have now. You know, the trusted, credible anchor from the media source that you can rely on to be independent, it's hard to find these days. I will give you that. Oop, sorry. Banging my microphone around here. That's why hopefully you keep on coming back right here. Am I a part of legacy media? I guess technically I would check that box, but I'm also definitely part of independent media right now, and hopefully I've earned your trust over several years that keeps you coming back. I do know this. We used to sit down, we would watch sports, and there would be an element of it that's fun. The elements of fun in sports are further and fewer in between these days. Listen to Sports Talk Radio today. Go online today. It's the day after the AFC and NFC championship games. It is a day where you can start talking about the Super Bowl and legacies and who won and who lost and all that stuff. And that's not what's being talked about. What's being talked about today is that most people, when they sit down to watch an NFL game, really like 50% of all fans don't even believe it's on the level. You know, it's NFL fans feel like the game is rigged. And then when you look beyond that, the way that betting is so heavily involved in everything the NFL is, you know, selling and advertising, I'm telling you right now, there will be a huge pendulum swing against gambling. And oh, by the way, today's live stream is being powered by BetUS. Thank you very much, BetUS. But there is going to be a huge swing of the pendulum that is going to sound an awful lot less like, oh, gambling's an awful lot of fun and it's good. And it's going to come back to gambling is very dangerous. Be careful with it. You are going to have a generation of fucked up gamblers that have all been born in the last 4 or 5 years. And there's going to be a heavy price to pay for how common gambling has become. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I'm just telling you what's going to happen. It's going to happen. And this is gambling doing damage to people, not any one league. The minute we find out something is being manipulated, well, that could be the end of all the success that everyone's enjoying. So football, even though it is our most successful, most watched, most robust and healthy sport there is, half the people who watch the games don't even believe what they're watching is on the level. And again, some of these folks are wearing aluminum foil hats, and other folks are watching the same game I am and saying to themselves, boy, that looks like an awful lot like a Josh Allen first down. How come it isn't? How come it isn't? Again, never daunted. There's a well-reasonable Hoosier right here. Rigged. Again, I'm not going to join you out on rigged. But less than trustworthy, oddly timed decisions that only seem to lean in the direction of one team, not the other. It's real. So a sport that should have no problems attached to it has problems attached to it. Then you go ahead and you turn around to the NBA, right? Like the NBA has gone about making sure that its entire regular season is now presented without value. Used to be half the NBA's regular season sucked. Now it's pretty much the whole thing. Except for what, a 25-game sprint at the end? You think the NBA's got problems now? Wait until the two biggest attractions in the league decide to wrap up their careers. If the NBA is where it is now with LeBron and Curry still in it, what's the NBA going to look like? By the way, the succession plan to the next superstars in the league, like you'd think, like, well, it's going to be Luka, or it's going to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, or it's going to be Victor Wembanyama. You'd think. But nobody gets to volunteer to be the next Steph Curry or the next LeBron James. We determine who that is. And I don't know if we're going to determine that any of those guys are those guys. Is this league banking on the star power of Jason Tatum? Jason Tatum is a really good basketball player, but his star power is the equivalent of a yawn. Jason Tatum has no star power. He's just a really good player. Should we even bring up Major League Baseball? Does Major League Baseball engender any excitement anywhere but Dodgers fans these days? It's hard to find. The fact that the Dodgers and the A's are in the same sport competing for the same thing is reason enough to hate that sport. It really is. Equitable competition is not available in Major League Baseball. The only thing baseball has going for it is it's really hard to hit. And that means any game could break in any direction because even tonight, the Dodgers lineup could go quiet. That's how hard it is to hit a major league pitch. But that's all that baseball has to offer. This stacked card game that only the Dodgers really get to play in, yeah, it could still go your way, but probably not. Hockey doesn't even exist. It's like the sport doesn't even exist. Seriously. And I like hockey. I will sit around and I'll watch a little hockey. It's as if it doesn't even exist anymore. If 20 years ago, hockey was at let's see what it is 20 years from now is, it's worse. It's worse. Am I back? I think I'm back. Hopefully we're back. Golf and NASCAR. Again, neither is as popular as it was 20 years ago. The only sport that could even really legitimately make an argument like, hey, it's growing, would be women's professional basketball and women's college basketball. And at the same time, it feels like a lot of people are over Caitlin Clark. And without her, there are already fewer people paying attention to women's college basketball. Now she's in the WNBA, and the WNBA has made it as hard to like them as humanly possible because they've just bitched and moaned about every single ounce of attention that they are getting, aren't getting. And like the WNBA is wearing out its welcome as an unwanted guest in staggering fashion. So where's the real health in sports? Where's the fun in sports these days? It's harder to find. It really is. Brett, because we do pause for super chats, Brett says, don't fall for the $40 margarita outside the door of baggage claim. Enjoy Mexico, DB. Oh, look, this is our 5th run to Riviera Maya. I know you do. I'll take it a step further. Not only, Brett, do you not fall for the $40 margarita right outside the airport in Cancun, I'll take it a step further. Don't even make eye contact. The minute you make eye contact with somebody holding a sign, they're going to come over and try to sell you a car ride to somewhere that you don't need, a drink that you don't need at this particular time. Yeah, no, I know how to get out of that Cancun airport. I'm good at it now. Don't make eye contact. Don't walk close to any dogs. We be smuggling. Kim, that Cancun airport is bogus. Can't even get water from a water fountain. They don't exist. You have to buy a bottle. Yeah, it's captive audience, no doubt about it. They know what they're doing. I told you we'll come back next week. We'll talk about the Super Bowl a little bit more. We'll talk about some trends. Here are some early betting trends, though, for the Super Bowl. The team to win has covered the spread in 9 of the last 10 Super Bowls. So what is it, Chiefs -2 right now? The game has gone under in 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. The team to score first has won 37 of 58 Super Bowls. So look for that, I guess. And 3 straight Super Bowls. As you're watching this Super Bowl go off at -2, Vegas knows a little something about that because 3 straight Super Bowls in a row have been decided by just a field goal. So, as always, approach with caution, boys and girls. Approach with caution. Sporticus says, I saw the U.S. Frisbee Championship on the Ocho the other day. Caddies and marshals with quiet please signs at the U.S. Frisbee Championship? Really? You got to have golf decorum during Frisbee golf? Why is that? So you're not distracted during your windup? Because there's no backswing. That's weird. That's a little weird. I'm going to go get a pedicure today. Yeah, that's going to happen. My wife said, I'm not going to Mexico with those feet. And I understand. I got some dead skin on the back. I got like the old man white heel that needs to be exfoliated. I'm going to go get a pedicure. I'm going to be pretty. I'm going to be dainty. Let's see. Speaking of pretty and dainty, I guess that brings us to the Golden State Warriors, who lost to the Lakers on Saturday. They've dropped 3 of 4. Curry is absolutely out of gas. He went scoreless in the second half. It's one of the rarest things of his career. I don't know how many times that has happened. Curry went 0 for 8 from the floor after halftime. The Lakers won by 10. They're now a season best 7 games over 500, while the Warriors fall a game back under 500. Draymond's going to be reevaluated this week. I guess that's good news. Kuminga will hopefully be back in the mix soon. That's got to be good news. The Warriors really can't withstand more bad news. They host the Jazz at Chase Center Tuesday night. They got a back-to-back then with Oklahoma City on Wednesday, so how Steph is used over the next two games will be an interesting thing to keep an eye on. And then Friday night, it's the Phoenix Suns. And when I look at those next three games, again, a back-to-back with the Jazz and the Thunder, and then Friday, it's Phoenix. Yeah, 1-2. If you were selling me 1-2 right now, I would buy it. Because I think the Warriors could go 0-3 in those games. Absolutely, I do. So I would buy 1-2 if you're selling it right now. Damon, get that pedicure in Mexico. Better service, quality, the best half price one. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, but I got to be ready to go the minute I get off that plane. I'm not going to be looking for pedicures in Mexico. I'm not going to be looking for massages in Mexico. I'm going to be looking for pool time. And maybe, like a big cross-eyed and painless. If Fish has got one of those ready to go for me. Give me a big split open and melt. I always like one of those. Give me a big tweezer. Give me a David Bowie. You want to go old school on me? Drop a Colonel Forbins? Sure. Why not? Yeah, there will be no pedicures. Maybe a petrichor, but no pedicures. Not for me in Mexico. There's this way too inside Fish for even Fish fans. So let's wrap up with this. Oh, by the way, here is your real harbinger of bad things coming for the Golden State Warriors. Okay, here you go. The Warriors have gone 3+ minutes without scoring 57 different times so far this year. In other words, they're averaging a 3-minute scoring drought every 1.27 times per game. So more than once per game, they're going on a 3-minute scoring drought. That's third behind only Orlando and Charlotte, two very young teams who are just trying to find their identities. The Warriors are supposed to be a clearly identified team who knows who they are, and they're playing again like the Magic and the Hornets. The Warriors have had 3-minute droughts in 75.6% of their games, and that is the highest average in the NBA. The Warriors, God bless them, defensively, they can't score. Nobody but Steph Curry can put the ball in the net. Nobody. Wiggins every now and then. Kuminga. If they're not extending Jonathan Kuminga, they're nuts. They need Jonathan Kuminga more than Jonathan Kuminga needs the Golden State Warriors. He is plan B. And given Steph's age, you should probably start sliding him over to plan A. And we'll talk more about this when I get back from Mexico. Chef A, Damon, what are your thoughts to the swim-up bar? I personally love them. I want one in my backyard, but I need a pool first. You're also going to need a bartender. Like having a swim-up bar in your own backyard, hard thing to pull off unless you're willing to also get out of the pool and then serve yourself from the bar while you're in the pool. You can't do it. The swim-up bar is one of the single greatest inventions. It's the wheel controlling fire, the internet, the swim-up bar, the birth control pill. Let's put that out there too. That's one of the greatest inventions of all time. And you're going to need that birth control pill after the swim-up bar. Yeah. I love a swim-up bar. Who is anti-swim-up bar? That's my question. Who looks at a swim-up bar and goes, nah, not for me. I'd rather get out of the pool, dry off, and walk around. No one says that. Who the hell would say that? Zothmus says, I could do it. I used to bartend at Trader Vic's. Well, you'd have to get out of the pool, reach over, you have to scoop your own ice. I've already talked to Jillian about what my first in-pool cocktail is going to be. Because I'm going to hit a margarita before I even get in the pool. So the first, welcome to Mexico. Here's your margarita. That's the way it goes. Not an airport margarita, but it will happen. I'll get on the bus. It's going to bring us all down to our resort, and there'll probably be a beer on there for me. So I'll have a beer by default just because it's going to get handed to me. But when I get in that pool, I want a strawberry daiquiri. I could go pina colada. You could go mudslide. You could go definitely margarita. I'm going strawberry daiquiri, frozen strawberry daiquiri. The minute I get in that pool, fuck yeah. Cannot wait. Postman in Capitola. Oy, oy, oy! Got my 5 on that pedicure. What color, honey? Yeah, we're going to go clear. Maybe I should just shock Jillian, show up with like green toenails or something. Enjoy the trip to Mexico. Name that fish in your taco. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Where is it? Where is name that fish? I think we got it, right? We got it. Where is it?
Name that fish.
It's probably grouper. I don't know. A tequila old fashioned, D. Bruce. I've never had a tequila old fashioned. Maybe. Enjoy those gel tabs, broski. Oy, oy, oy! Thank you. Thank you. There will be chocolate bars with happiness in them. Let's just say that. Damon, what about just Golden State colors for the pedicure? Yeah, just across the board. It's going to be a really good time. Hopefully we get some great shows. More than anything else, hopefully we get great weather. We've been to this Mexico trip 5 times. We've had great weather 3.5 times. 1 year, not so much. 1 year, a couple of the days got grayer and stormier than you ever want. I'm really hoping we get like 4 straight up Chamber of Commerce, beautiful days. I don't even want that for me. I want it for Jillian. My wife needs a pool and a beach and an ocean. Gulf of America, just right there waiting for us. Looking forward to it. All right. As you know, we don't have many traditions here on the show, but we do usually end with a little today in history. Lots happened today in history. Some big, serious stuff. Some other things that are just fun. Let's start with a happy birthday to the only ballerina who I could ever mention by name. Is it ballerina? Ballerino? I don't know. But happy 77th birthday to Mikhail Baryshnikov. Mikhail Baryshnikov, the most recognizable ballet person ever. I think so, right? By the way, Mikhail Baryshnikov on its own is a great name, right? It's just a great name. Sounds like whoever has that name is going to be able to do fancy artistic things. Mikhail Baryshnikov. I love a good name. That's one of them. Maybe the greatest name ever. Born today in Salzburg, Austria, he would have been 269 years old. But today, in 1756, we met Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart for the very first time. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, that's one of the 5 greatest names ever given to any human ever. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. That's awesome. Again, it was like you knew that guy was going to be able to write music just based on that name alone. Like I told you the other week when we celebrated Hakeem Olajuwon's birthday. The minute Hakeem Olajuwon is announced in that starting lineup, you're going to lose. They got Hakeem Olajuwon, for goodness sakes. Listen to that name. That name blocks 3 shots before tip-off. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Would have been 269 years old today. American inventor Thomas Edison patented the incandescent lamp, the light bulb, today in 1880. Sad news from 1967. One of the worst, at the time, I believe the worst, most tragic thing that ever happened in NASA is when astronauts Virgil Grissom, Edward H. White, and Robert Chaffee died in the fire on Apollo 1 during the Apollo missions. They all went up on that capsule right there on that launching platform. I can't think there's got to be no worse way to die than that, right? Burnt to death in a capsule. No thanks. No, thank you. So that happened today in 1967. Let's see. Today in 1976, you want to work a little lighter? Okay, we'll work a little lighter. Today in 1976, Laverne and Shirley, spinoff of Happy Days, made its network television debut on ABC. Cindy Williams, Penny Marshall. Penny Marshall would go on to be one of the most successful female directors in the history of Hollywood. She gave us A League of Our Own. One of the great sports movies ever comes from Penny Marshall. But it all starts for Penny with her very first episode of Laverne and Shirley. Shamil Shamazel, Hassan Pfeffer Incorporated, whatever that is. Shamil Shamazel to everybody. Today in 1984, Michael Jackson's hair caught on fire filming a Pepsi commercial. In 1984, Michael Jackson was burnt by a flare, a pot that shot flames on the stage as he was filming a Pepsi commercial. It caught him, it burned him, singed his hair off, really burnt his hand, and the glove was invented. I mean, you want to talk about finding the silver lining in something that was bad. There you are in the hospital with what? I don't know what degree burns he had on him, but he was burnt, obviously. And in that moment was born the signature accoutrement of his entire career, the sparkly one glove. There you go. So Michael Jackson was burnt, got the damn glove, and the rest is history. Let's see. Speaking of the rest being history, history changed quite a bit today in 2010 when a guy named Steve Jobs introduced a tablet that he called an iPad. The very first time we saw an iPad was today in 2010. The iPad is now 15 years old. We wrap up today with maybe the most will relate to you today in history, because let's face it, you know, you may have watched Laverne and Shirley. I'm sure several of you have not. Again, how do you avoid Michael Jackson? Whether you like him or not, his music is still everywhere. So obviously that's part of your life. Light bulbs, a part of your life, probably already turned one on or off today. But let's be totally honest. If you're a normal, which I'm guessing a lot of us are normal, there's one thing that I can guarantee. It's that just about every single person watching this right now has a piece of IKEA furniture in their house. And today, in 2018, the Swedish entrepreneur Ingvar Kamprad died. And again, he's the guy who gave us IKEA. The world's largest seller of furniture became IKEA, and he died at the age of 91. And I only tell you about that to tell you, if you're in an IKEA and you get some of those meatballs, they're pretty good. IKEA, you can have lunch at IKEA. And I'll go as far as to say now that, Jillian and I have reached a point in our lives where we're not furnishing apartments, but our own home. We've graduated into the post-IKEA phase of our furnituring. I think the meatball served me better than just about any piece of IKEA furniture ever did. So I'm pro IKEA meatball. I'm pro IKEA furniture when you need it in your life. And then when you can move away from the compressed, wood to like an actual something fashioned from real wood, do that when you can. But in the meantime, all right, IKEA, you've served your purpose in all of our lives. So there you go. Joe. Damon rocking a Speedo in Mexico? No, you don't want that. You don't want the Speedo. Pressed wood luxury. That's right, San Bruno Mike. Yeah, forget about IKEA. Eat at Ike's. Joe, you're right about that. I want you to go ahead and get a sandwich today at Ike's. I'm going to get a sandwich today at Ike's. I will take a picture of it, and I will share it with you at some point today. There's my man, Ike. There's his picture. I want to share that with you. What a great guy. What a great picture. What a great logo. Our friend Ike truly has. Thanks so much to our good friends again at the Dubliner West Portal. Love the Dubliner West Portal. Don't think for a second that our Super Plus party happening at the Halfway Club on Super Bowl Sunday is any reflection on the Dubliner and our relationship at all. I just had my buddy say, "You want my bar for the Super Bowl?" And I said, "Yeah, okay, I'll take your bar for the Super Bowl." So there we go. We're going to do that at the Halfway Club. And thanks as always to BetUS for sponsoring us here on the Plus. Sign up with promo code YouTube150 for a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. Thanks to everyone today who offered up a super chat. Thanks to everyone who hopped on in and hung out with us for a little while. Great hanging out with you. As always, wait a minute. I need to get rid of that. Go back to this. And say thank you. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for being a part of our little family. Thanks to all of you. We got SG Sports Talk, become a member of the Uninitiated once again. That's a great way to support the channel. But really, here's your homework assignment. While I am gone, would you please click on a few videos while I'm gone? Maybe watch a few shorts, call some old videos up. Let's not let my views crash while I'm in Mexico, and that's up to you. So put your eyeballs on the channel, surf around. Thanks very much. And everybody, have yourselves a great week. We will check in from the pool. We will check in from the beach. So keep an eye on YouTube for all of that. But in the meantime, everybody, seriously, have a great week. Have an awesome week without football. And by the time we're back on Monday next week, we'll get you ready for that Super Bowl after all. We'll see what the Warriors are doing. We'll be getting closer and closer to pitchers and catchers reporting. And maybe sports will start feeling a little bit better after this vacation. Because, again, going into this vacation, man, sports are in a weird place. But then again, we all are. We really are. Thank you so much for hanging out today. Take care of each other. And please do remember that sports don't build character. They reveal it.